nourish, وَلَا يُغْنِي مِنْ جُوعٍ, nor does it avail against any hunger. وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٌ, faces on that day will be at comfort and soft, and also they'll be in bliss and happiness. لِسَعْيِهَا رَاضِيَةٌ, for their efforts, their striving, they will be pleased. فِي جَنَّةٍ عَالِيَةٍ, in a garden which is عالية, which is lofty. لا تسمع فيها لاغية, they will not hear in any vain or bad speech. فيها عين جارية, in it they will have a spring which is running. فيها سرر مرفوعة, in it they will have couches which are raised. وأكواب موضوعة, and they will have cups that are placed. ونمارق مصفوفة, and they will have pillows that are set out and arranging in rows. وَزَرَابِيُّ مَبْثُوثَةً, and they will have carpets that are spread. If you read from verse number 16, you'll find that that is going to be the first section of Surah Ghashiyah. So if you had to summarize that section, what do you summarize as? It's so Allah's first opening up with the actual day of judgment, right, guys? The first thing is about the day of judgment, and what about the day of judgment? وجوه يومئذ خاشعة وجوه يومئذ ناعمة. The conditions of the two groups of people. So it's going to be the opening of the surah. Then, as you can see in verse number 17, it changes completely away from Qiyamah. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Do they not look to the ibil, to the camel? كَيْفَ, how خُلِقَتْ, it has been created. There are not many, Malatul Mufassirun, who translate this as what? You guys read it before? Your preparations? They don't translate ibil as camel. They translate ibil as rain clouds. However, it's a very minority, one or two views of it. Ibil doesn't mean rain clouds. Meaning what? Ibil is not used for rain clouds. They just asserting that it's a metaphorical expression. So it's not really like a very common tafsir, but I'm saying you might come across, I think Asad, he translated as rain clouds. I'm saying you might come across in translation that you'll find that one of the translators suddenly say rain clouds, and everybody else says camel. Why? Because there is a minority view that some people say it's metaphorical for rain clouds. Why? Because the whole thing is about natural phenomena, sama'i, jibali, ardi. So they're almost like a contextual kind of motivation to make it metaphorical. However, I think for me it's much straightforward just to keep it on its, because there's no like, when do we render things metaphorical? You have to have some, basically you must have some qarina, you must have some evidence, supporting evidence to move something from literal to metaphorical. What I mean by supporting evidence? Meaning what? Maybe from a theological perspective, and something literal can't be used. Or maybe just from a linguistic perspective, meaning what? That something is an idiomatic expression in the language. When I say it's raining cats and dogs, or he kicked the bucket, those are clear metaphorical expressions. No one ever thinks a dog and a cat is falling down, or people kick a bucket and then fall over dead. It's clearly metaphorical. And so Arabic also have lots of idioms. So then you're going to render something metaphorical. So yeah, almost like when the argument isn't strong enough, when you are able to be used for that, and like, it becomes almost like why you make it metaphorical if there is like sufficient motivation for it. And if there isn't, and then we basically keep it on the do they not look إلى to the camel? كيف خلق? You can also just keep yourself on mute, inshallah. My phone, so I have to multitask again. I'm just going to permanently mute the inshallah. Now, أفلا ينظرون. So do not look إلى الإبل to the camel, وإلى السماء, and to the heavens, كيف رفعت, how it has been raised. وإلى الجبال, and to the mountains, كيف نصبت, how it has been erected. وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت, and to the earth, how it has been spread out. فذكر. So with verse number 20, the second theme ends. So I will describe the second theme of the surah. It is the proofs. It's going to be basically the proofs around people that things exist in reality. It's an actual camel, an actual sky, an actual mountain, an actual earth, and actual things can't manifest themselves. Actual material things don't manifest themselves without something that they are contingent upon. Can you think of anything that manifests itself without the previous contingency? No, only Allah, the non-contingent being. But every contingency must have something that is contingent upon, and therefore Allah saying, do not look around this. And other argument, obviously, in terms of sophisticated design, multiplicity, there has to be an intelligent designer behind it. Then in the third theme, Allah says, فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. So you, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after now we've spoken about the two groups of Qiyamah, after we've spoken about the natural phenomena around you for you to ponder and you to look and you to make nazar of. Nazar means that you must look, you must study, and you must think. I think part of like my difficulty or my concern is that even if people are going to make nazar, people can tell them that what you see isn't true. Which is like strange, because we come from what? We came from a scientific era where seeing is believing. And we also had the problem that, but we see that's also limited because what you see is not everything. But now we come into an era which is post-science and post-truth, meaning what you see even scientifically sometimes not believing. So when the world becomes post-science and post-truth, even on its own terms, at least like empirical truth is some degree of truth. You know, it's like empirical truth is some degree of truth. But now you come post-truth, the world itself is like where, what? Where to next? Now. So therefore the Quran is still like appealing to people's basic sense of like, أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ, look around with the eye of like normality to see real things. فَذَكِّرْ, then remind, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِنَّمَا, only anta, you are a reminder. لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُصَيْطِرٍ, لَسْتَ, you are not عَلَيْهِمْ upon them, بِمُصَيْطِرٍ, saytir, someone who controls them, someone who is able to manage them, dictate to them to become believers. إِلَّا مَنْ تَوَلَّى وَكَفَرْ, except or however, whoever, tawalla, who turns away, وَكَفَرَ, and disbelieves. And also like with regard to like these things, normally when you think about the Quran saying tawalla wa kafar, making tawalla wa kafar of what? Of metaphysical truths. Imagine a society that makes tawalla wa kafar of physical truths. The Quran always speaking about tawalla wa kafar, turning away and covering up metaphysical truths. A society makes tawalla wa kafar for physical proofs. Like it's madness upon madness. Again, in Nur upon Nur, it's like madness upon madness. You don't affirm the physical truth, nor the metaphysical truth. The metaphysical truth. إِلَّا مَنْ تَوَلَّى وَكَفَرَ. They will not go away, they will not have any freedom. فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ الْعَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرَ. Then definitely Allah will yu'adhib. Allah will punish them. Allah will punish them. One of the qualities of the second Brahman I mentioned to you is causation, yes, but also for kathra as well. Kathra, abundance, like repetition as well. Takreerin, like over and over and over again. فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ. Then Allah will punish them. And And the condition there is over and over. Al-adhaba, the punishment. Al-akbar, the greatest punishment. Inna ilayna, we ended there, last two verses. Inna ilayna iyaba. Inna means what? Indeed, ilayna, to us, is iyabahum. What's iyab? Iyab is to return, but also iyab also means to return from the place that you came from. That's the meaning of to return from the place that you came from, because that's the meaning of return actually. You can't return something you've never been to. Like you've never been to America, so I'm the return to America. Like your forefathers. So return means that you came from there. One of the things in the Quran when you read the verses like this is to not only see the translation but also hear the tone. Like for example, in this verse, I think Allah is emphasizing it or saying it normally. Emphasizing. And you can see the emphasizing there in three ways. What's the most obvious way? Inna. Meaning what Allah Quran just says, Allah says, يَرْجِعُونَ إِلَيْنَا, they will return to us. That's like a normal thing. Or ila Allah. But the Allah says, Inna. Undoubtedly. As emphasis. Then Allah also adds what there? Allah adds the khabar inna before the ismu inna. Iyabah. Ism inna is inna iyabahum ilayna. Meaning what? Iyabah is ism inna and ilayna is the khabar inna. When Allah moves the khabar inna, there before is for takhsis. Meaning what is there for? Like us and us alone. To us and us alone. And the third point of emphasis is going to be the fact that Allah uses not inna ilallahi iyabahum, inna ilayna. The na is there for what? The connotation of might, power, authority. Verily to us and us alone in our might, in our power, in our authority is iyabahum, is there the return where they came from. I think without the mud. That's a tajweed thing. I think it creates something like from like a acoustic, auditory point of view, in terms of the way it sounds, but not in terms of like mind. Yeah. No, so there's two questions. So one question, what about the mad, inna ilayna yabahu? Obviously that now there's going to be a tajweed rule that you put it on all the some is qasr, you put twice and so on. So there's some ikhtilaf and what's a bit longer and so on. So it's going to be more like, but those things they have acoustic properties. Meaning what the Quran sounds a certain way, there's a certain effect on your heart. And then this is is going to be inna ilayna iyab. It's like get Arabic, I think it's called gymnasium. It's what in English you call it alliteration. Alliteration, where you can repeat the same thing. So there's also have like balagh authorities, like the alliteration. Inna ilayna, verily to us and us alone in our might and our power and authority is iyabahum, is going to be their return, mean they're coming from us and they're going to be returning to us. Thumma, then inna alayna hisabahum. Some construction. Then not only are they going to return to us, inna, verily, undoubtedly, alayna. Ala means what? Upon us, meaning what is, it's not for them to decide, it's us, it's our responsibility. Alayna, and who is naya referring to Allah? Us in our might, in our power, in our authority is hisabahum, is their reckoning. Maybe just a few, I'm actually over time, one, two things about the hisab is their reckoning, their counting, how they count them. Just some things about the structure. The third, if you had to think about what's the theme of, or what's the message of the third part of the surah? فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر. So in the third part is again addressed to the Prophet ﷺ, telling him to remind. And then also telling him what? That in a sense, Allah only mentions one group here, but the implication is two groups. لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُسَيْطِرٍ إِلَّا مَنْ تَوَلَّى وَكَفَرَ. You with me? So the idea is that there's going to be a response to it. Allah mentions one response, but by understanding that we had a different response. Two responses basically. And then also what Allah mentioned at the end there, the outcome of that group. Inna ilayna iyabahum, they will return to us. Thumma inna alayna hisabahum, that their reckoning will be upon us. When does the reckoning be upon us? When? Hal ataka hadithun Ghashiyah. So at the beginning Allah speaks of the Ghashiyah, the overwhelming event. At the end Allah speaks about what? The return to Allah Ta'ala. At the beginning Allah speaks about Hal ataka, you Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. At the end Allah speaks about Fadhakkir. You with me? Mention them. At the beginning Allah speaks about the responses. At the end Allah speaks about the outcome of the two groups basically. At the end is the two groups. So this is going to be like an ABA sequence, meaning what the first theme and the third theme are actually very tightly linked. And then if you go to the middle theme, what's the middle theme? And the heart of the surah often is like the main message of the surah. Meaning what? There's an outcome, there's two groups. The Prophet is warning you. What must you do? Recognize truth. Recognize truth wherever you are, wherever you see. And this surah was often recited by the Prophet ﷺ. Because this Prophet, this surah has what? It has statements of truth and also like encouragement for you to go look for it. Encouragement for you to go look for the truth and for the manifestations of that truth in this world. Well, the blessed and accept inshallah ta'ala. Read the surah abundantly, try to be connected to its meanings, and next week we'll start Surah Al-Fajr, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just keep a note for next week's logistics. They have any car here, so we'll just send you whatever the logistics are for next week, inshallah. Barakallah.